It's a holiday, and many of you are taking advantage to get some much-needed rest. The truth is, many of us work far too hard. If I had my own way, I would never miss a single morning here with you, my dear friends. Even when I'm ill, I often lie there just wishing someone would give me a microphone and a camera so I can do my job from my sick bed, right? I never want to stop doing something I love, not even for a second. I know I'm not the only one who feels this way about their job. So many of you love what you do and wish you could do it even in your sleep. There are also some of you who work round the clock, not because of passion, but pressure. You hold positions of influence and authority. You control immense resources. You manage the finances of prominent individuals and huge organizations. People depend on you. You alone can see the big picture. And when you're not there, you're afraid things will fall apart. Or perhaps half of the year has almost whizzed by and you're still behind on your targets. Your job, your promotion, your career, your livelihood depends on you upping your game, and time is running out. Again, I know that feeling too. But I'm wondering, when was the last time you asked yourself that all-important question, why am I doing this? Why do I wake up 5 or 6 times a week at the crack of dawn before my kids are awake, endure hours of traffic to get to a pressure cooker of an office where every single stimulus is designed to send my blood pressure skyrocketing? Why do I then stay in this hectic environment so long that by the time I battle my way through even more traffic to get home, my children are already asleep? Why am I doing this? Your answer probably sounds something like, I'm working hard now so I can relax later, right? Well, here's something you didn't know. In 2014, the leading cause of death among adults in Ghana was hypertension. It kills through strokes, heart attacks, kidney failure, and other serious complications. So if you're stressing yourself out now so you can relax later, tell me, how easy do you think it is to relax with failed kidneys? Really, unless your idea of relaxation is half of your body being paralyzed due to stroke, then perhaps you ought to pause every now and then, take a break, and actually spend time doing the things you love or spending that time with your family. Take a week off sometime. Take a trip, take a minute to catch your breath and recharge your batteries. You've had your head down so long, grinding away. It's time to lift your head up, look around you, and see how far God has brought you. Just stop for a minute. It just might save your life. You know, someone sent me a poem. It's supposed to be written by a teenage girl who was dying of cancer in a New York hospital. I've not been able to find the girl's name, but I do want to share her words with all of us this morning. She called it Slow Dance. Here we go. Have you ever watched kids on a merry-go-round or listened to the rain slapping on the ground? Ever followed a butterfly's erratic flight or gazed at the sun into the fading night? You better slow down. Don't dance so fast. Time is short. The music won't last. Do you run through each day on the fly? When you ask, how are you, do you hear the reply? When the day is done, do you lie in your bed with the next 100 chores running through your head? You'd better slow down. Don't dance so fast. Time is short. The music won't last. Ever told your child, we'll do it tomorrow, and in your haste, not see his sorrow? Ever lost touch, let a good friendship die because you never had time to call and say hi? You better slow down. Don't dance so fast. Time is short. The music won't last. When you run so fast to get somewhere, you miss half the fun of getting there. When you worry and hurry through your day, it's like an unopened gift thrown away. Life is not a race. Do take it slower. Hear the music before the song is over. You better slow down. Don't dance so fast. Time is short. The music won't last. My name is Kojo Yankson, and whatever you do, never forget why you do it. Good morning, Ghana.
Good morning and welcome to the AM News. My name is Enimwa Ado. Stuck between defecating in the open and risking it in dirty, highly contaminated public toilets with poor drainage systems. That's the daily reality of some residents of Ablekuma South constituency who live in homes without toilets. Officials of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly went on an inspection to some public toilet facilities in the constituency to ensure that those toilets meet health standards. Judith Awatritando joined the team and now reports.
Sounds of angry residents lamenting the appalling state of systems in the Kolegono community. The Ablekuma South constituency is popularly known for its poor settlement conditions. Most homes in the area are poorly constructed and are with no proper sewage systems. Residents living in these communities depend on public toilet facilities. These public toilets are in very deplorable conditions. We followed the Health Division of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly Wednesday to inspect some of these toilets. Florence Kuchi is Metro Public Health Director of the AMA.
So today we are starting to enforce the laws on the public toilet operators. So we are in Ablekuma South Sub-Metro. Today we are visiting 7 public toilet operators to see how they are managing the public toilet, whether they are really following the standards laid down given to them on the guide we gave them about a month ago. That is the reason why we are here today. We visited some of these toilets about 2 weeks ago, and we even gave them what we call abatement notice because we realized that they were not doing the right thing. So officers gave them abatement notice to ensure that the right things are done. So we are going back for re-inspection.
We visited the Kolegono Lighthouse public toilet facility, which was in fact an eyesore. The AMA had warned owners of the facility to ensure they meet the standard.
Take this and put it in an enclosed container. You
know you are supposed to properly throw the used toilet papers into this dustbin. You are spreading germs to others in the community by leaving it here. The germs in turn will settle on food and cause cholera and make people sick.
So that is why you are supposed to use this. Okay? You are not supposed to put this anal cleansing to welcome people who are coming to use the toilet. Okay? So it's one of the reasons that I say we'll close your place and we are going to prosecute you.
After a long struggle, the facility was finally locked up. Another public toilet facility farther ahead was not any different. Interestingly, some residents warned the people of the community will engage in open defecation in their gutters if the facility was closed down.
Seriously, mostly, every gutter in Kolegono, that's what is going on.
This man regularly cleans gutters in this community at his own cost.
For people to come in around 12 a.m., 1 a.m., but they close at that time. So there are some people, I don't know them, they will use themselves in the gutter. And that's what is going on for the past 20 years. And most of the guys that I used to clean the gutter with, they are fed up.
The third public toilet, which shared a wall with the popular Tuesday market, seemed to be the worst among the lot, putting foodstuffs sold at the market at high risk of contamination.
And in the OT region, traditional authorities and residents in the Nkwanta North District fear a possible guinea worm infestation in the area. The residents say they've had to rely on contaminated water bodies because they lack potable water. They want government to intervene and resolve the water challenge by repairing the Damankutpasa small water system transmission lines. Fred Kwame Asare reports.
The Nkwanta North District's current population stands at about 120,000. The district, which contributes to the food basket of Ghana, has been suffering the scarcity of potable water.
It's a serious situation we are facing in the district. And you know, water is life. As of now, even businesses that uses water are crying. And now the only way out is people digging boreholes. I can tell you that people even do all this. And yet in the dry season that they need the water most, they don't have water coming out from the boreholes. So this is a serious issue.
This development has left deprived residents with no option than to rely on any available water body. Some residents in Kpasa, the district capital, had to fall on extreme outskirts of the community. Unfortunately, there are insanitary conditions around the same water body upstream. The stream serves as a recreational facility for some youth who take swims in it during their leisure. Others use its surroundings as places of convenience and refuse dumps. Obviously, water from this stream is unwholesome for human consumption, but these residents have no option but to rely on it for domestic use. Water from the stream does not taste good. We know it is not safe for drinking. Because we have no alternative, we have to drink and use it for cooking. Residents who operate food joints are compelled to construct wells at their homes and use the water for washing, while they purchase borehole water for cooking. Ruka Yawezu laments the situation is affecting their businesses and health.
Before a day, we spend about 5 cedis, 7 cedis.
We spend about 7 cedis on water. We believe water from the borehole contains harmful chemicals. When you leave the water in a steel bowl or cup overnight, it causes damage to it. It may also affect us when we drink it. Sibi is arguably the hardest hit community in the Nkwanta North District. Meet 34-year-old Mary Asonda. She welcomed her 7th child 3 days ago. Ideally, she should be resting at home or in a hospital bed, but the circumstances would not allow her. She sets out in a blood-stained dress to look for water to use at home since her elderly children are working on the farm. She was disappointed seeing the state of the water when she got to the stream. She therefore decided to head back home. Fortunately, she met some ladies who led her to a site where they dug the bed of the stream to get water. There is no potable water, so I came here to fetch. I didn't get some at the other end, but I got some here. I delivered 3 days ago. Because there is no water, I have to go out looking for water. Some residents fear there may be a reoccurrence of guinea worm infestation in the district as they have gone back to depend on the contaminated water bodies. An intervention by the Department for International Development UK, Danish International Development Agency, and the Government of Ghana saw the eradication of the parasite infection in the early 2000s, where residents were vaccinated and provided a good source of drinking water. However, portions of the transmission lines of the pool-funded Damanko-Kpasa small water system have been damaged, making it impossible for communities like Kpasa and Sibi to get a supply of the treated water.
Well, let's go to the Ashanti region next. And government says it won't back down on the burning of excavators used in illegal mining. The instant destruction of equipment, which has become characteristic of the latest phase of the war against Galamsey under the current Lands and Natural Resources Minister, has been criticized by many who say the action flies in the face of the law being used to fight illegal mining. The small-scale miners especially have threatened to sue if government does not stop stop the destruction of the equipment. Speaking at the Regional Consultative Dialogue on Small-Scale Mining in Kumasi on Wednesday, Sector Minister Samuel Jinapor said the use of excavators for mining at riverbanks was, quote, an extraordinary problem which requires extraordinary measures to deal with, end quote. Erastus Asare-Donko is on the beat for us and filed this report.
The Regional Consultative Dialogue attracted members of the Kumasi Traditional Council, small-scale miners, members of the Regional Security Council, and the general public. All the speakers acknowledged the presence of unseen powerful faces behind illegal mining in the country. Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah called for the naming and shaming of government appointees behind the illegality.
The destruction of our farmlands affects food security in this country. Also, the destruction of our water bodies has disastrous consequences on this country. My colleague government appointees, we have to lead the fight. And I think any government appointee who is found engaging in illegal mining must be dealt with the highest level of sanctions. It's time we name and shame.
The Ghana Armed Forces recently led an onslaught on illegal miners on water bodies and forest reserves. The modus operandi of the team, including burning of excavators, has raised concerns. But Lands Minister Abdullahi Jinapor justified the mode of operations, emphasizing an unwavering stance in the fight against illegal mining.
This is about the preservation.
Meanwhile, the Progressive People's Party has described the fight against illegal mining as camouflage, alleging government officials who own concessions have been shielded by the security operative. The party held a press conference at its headquarters on Wednesday. Faustina Safo sat through the presser and filed her report.
We are happy for the call of the youth all over the country, calling for fixing the country. We are supported of the youth standing up to make government accountable. For after all, governments came into power promising to fix our country. So now electricity is rampant. Fix the electricity. Our water, we can't get the water to drink, clean water. Fix the water issue. We have potholes in our roads. Fix the potholes, because you said that you were going to fix the country.
A call on government to fix the constitution as the Progressive People's Party joins the Fix the Country campaign. The government earlier this week announced a 5-point plan to address complaints by the Fix the Country movement. But the party believes the amendment of the constitution should have featured on that plan.
We want to make sure that there's a permanence in terms of the separation between the Minister of Justice and that of the Attorney General. There must be a permanence in which that the Minister of Justice is an advisor to the President. Then the Attorney General fights on behalf of citizens. We have tried something like this with a special prosecutor, but that is just playing around the issue. The real issue for the blueprint, for the development of this nation, for people to become impartial, for people to not look at the political affiliation to be able to do their work, they need a total autonomy and independence.
The party wants the government to start prosecuting kingpins involved in illegal mining, alleging security operatives are shielding government officials who own concessions.
With the SMS team. So my name is Enima Enimado, and of course I'm here with the two baddest boys in radio, Kojo Youngson and Winston Amwa, and we've taken over your TV sets this morning. It's so great to be here.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah,
guys?
it's going to be good fun. I think we've got quite a lot to get through. That was Nice song, right?
Yeah, interesting song.
Enrico and D-Flex. I like how they were going.
Who and who?
Enrico and D-Flex.
Enrico and D-Flex. Cut the salad to the two of you. All right then. So shall we find out what's in the papers? Who's starting? Shall I go?
Well, let me start with the Daily Graphic that says that Galamsey menace DC's chiefs must answer Asante. And AMA Kole Clotte ready for floods. Also on the front page, stakeholders engage on Clean Accra. We're still engaging on how to clean Accra. I thought we're supposed to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa by end of 2020. Well, the back page says work towards sustainable peace, unity. Chris Bodo urges Muslims, and Sub-Regional Monitoring Center for Fishing Vessels inaugurated.
Right, I've got the Daily Guide, and this morning on the front page, Agrada pays NCA debt. Sikagari trial begins. Can you imagine if Agrada would? I mean, that would certainly affect the credibility of her services, right? Okay, health workers trained on larval source management. Chief of Staff opens Public Relations Summit. And Nana at Museveni swearing in. Let's flip it on its back. And Herbert Mensah stunned by rugby union suspension. I want to play with Ronaldo, Neymar says. That sounds like my son when he sees his cousins. I want to play with. Anyway, so Akuno names squad for 2 friendlies. And they are all here on the back page of the Daily Guide. Man City are England champs, also right there. Okay, let's have a look at the center spread. Lots of showbiz stories today. And one of my favorite people to look at, Genevieve Naji, stars in Fela Kuti legacy audio play. Dana, somewhat humbled by Ga Chiefs. My dad made me fall in love with music. Janaya X is the one declaring that. Angelina Jolie opens up on putting career on hold. Yeah, she's been out of the limelight for quite a while. And here's my senior from Ogasco, Professor Samuel Enim, government statistician, saying that inflation drops to 8.5%, forgive me, 8.5%. GRA clears air on alleged harassment. Reverend Amishadai Usam was the one saying that. Manage National Development Bank properly, Professor Peter Korte with that admonition. And Trade Minister launches GEPA Information Center. Trade Minister has been out and about quite a bit in the past few days. He was at Jata Cement, made in Ghana.
Yes, made in Ghana.
He was celebrating Ibrahim Mahama.
It's good to celebrate made in Ghana. So I mean, that was a good thing to do.
Yes, and Ghanaian entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, for me, I think that's the key. When the Ghanaian is doing well, we should be excited.
We should.
Yeah, and I was excited that all over social media, you had everyone congratulating him for what he's done. Because whatever happens, yes, we will talk about made in Ghana, but even I like the point about Ghanaian entrepreneurs, because yes, made in Ghana, I can register a company in Togo and say it's made in Togo, but I'm Ghanaian. So if you have a Ghanaian establishing a company right here in Ghana and employing Ghanaians, and once he gets money, he would invest in other sectors of the Ghanaian economy. Charlie, you have to comment that guy.
Yeah, we have to. The top 20 richest Africans. There isn't a single Ghanaian there. That's not right. This is Ghana. We ought to be, filling the spaces on that list. And so I'm excited.
Okay, well, let me do the front page of the Ghanaian Times. And 61 chieftaincy cases pending at the Western Regional House of Chiefs. Asante Hene joins fight against Galamsey. He's asking for punishment for illegal miners. Policeman grabbed over 100,000 Ghana cedi recruitment scam. Let's go to the middle page. Same stories there, pretty much. Okay, the back page. Akono names squad for Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire friendly matches. And Hearts halts Bechem United's home run. So some football there. There's lots of interesting stories inside the paper. Lots of crime going on. Man jailed 11 years for unlawful entry and stealing. 3 get 15 years for engaging in Galamsey. So that fight against Galamsey really, really going on there. There's a story about taking French language seriously to leverage AFCFTA. And I remember learning French. I failed French. It's one of the things I failed in my life.
You failed French at what level?
Level 100.
That was more like a core subject?
It was a required course because je suis, tu sors, nous sommes.
At a point, yes.
Did you also do French at a point?
Oh, oui. Tout in case, je ne go speak le French.
Yeah, no.
Ça m'étonne.
Je me force.
Oh, no. C'est pas français.
You know we're setting Winston to show us, setting him up to show us.
Give us a lecture right now. We beg.
But Enim was still reminded me of something. So when I was at the University of Cape Coast in level 200, now we're done French literature, and Charlie, I didn't like my grade, so I went to the DPU, where we normally would go and add and drop courses.
Yes.
And I was doing secretarial expression in French. So I went and said, I beg, drop this course for me. And the man asked, why is everybody dropping the course? And I said, sure, because people have decided not to do French again. It was just too difficult at the time. It was very, very, particularly as an elective subject. And I've never been a fan of literature, so just imagine going to read French literature. I said no. But if you ask me today, I'd say I regret that decision.
Yeah, not learning French.
I can still speak French, but I feel I should have completed with French and English. It would have been better if I'd read French and English at the university, but...
Well, moi, je ne regrette le cra.
That means
still,
what?
Just because small.
I had a friend like that, the late Astonish, may he continue to rest in peace. And a lecturer, Monsieur Chivanyo, always liked him because he tried to speak French. He would mix it up with what you're doing.
Do you understand, Pap? When I meet you in the morning,
the thing about Kojo's French, though, is that the actual French won't understand his French.
Oh, come on.
It's Ghanaians, it's because it's mostly English, though, mixed with a bit of
tree. So if I meet a French
Mm.
person and I'm like, qu'est-ce que ça? Won't you understand what I'm saying?
Qu'est-ce que ça?
Qu'est-ce que ça, yo? He might confuse us to mean qu'est-ce que ça. What's that? Not
everything. Hey.
Oh no, I'm just trying to draw your attention to the right thing.
What else is in
let me get to the center spread of the daily graphic that says Church of Pentecost hands over prison camp to government. There's been some section of Ghanaians commending them for what they've done. Another section has asked the question, why have they done that? But I'm saying we all saw the documentary by Seth Kwame Boateng. We all, saw the situation in our prisons. And so if a church decides to help in the reformation of Ghanaians, I see absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Plus, actually, it's far more in line with the mission of the Christian faith than many other things that churches do. Okay, so where else will you find the greatest number of, greatest concentration of sinners, if not in the prison, right? And if your job is to win souls, then building a prison is a very smart way of doing that. The idea is that it must reform. You can't go into prison and come out worse.
You shouldn't go into prison and come out worse.
You ought not go into prison and come back worse.
Yes.
You're right. So I think what the church is doing is actually very smart. And if indeed that is the purpose of our faith, then more churches should do this.
Great. Skocho, there's a story on page 13 of the Daily Graphic. Stakeholders engage on Clean Accra, and we're told that the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Quartier, he's charged corporate institutions within the capital to bear some level of responsibility and support the sanitation campaign to make Accra clean. Now, I'm asking some basic questions. The district assemblies are expected to charge us for the waste we generate, and so we pay for waste collection. Government or government through the district assembly is also recruited, or contracted some firms to be in charge and zoned all the district and asked them to be in charge of waste collection. We've seen all these things happening. So what other things must we do to ensure a clean Accra?
I get worried. I get worried because, look, these stakeholder engagements and workshops, and it's all procurement, okay? I mean, people will be hired to organize these things. So, At the end of it, there will be all kinds of materials printed, and then you will see, hotel bills and all of that we have to pay for such meetings. So if you go to such a meeting and you come out with not even one thing that is different from what we have been proposing and failing to do in the past, isn't that willfully causing financial loss to the state? If we are continuing to have these meetings and stakeholder engagements and the output is the same as what we've been doing for years, because there isn't a single new idea, not one. We're not wasting money.
We are. And the challenge is, consistently we talk about, these are the things we're supposed to do. Polluter pay system. We must ensure that, so we hire, waste management firms and they're sweeping roads in Accra. And we think that's the end of it. What happened to our basic governance principle of a decentralized system? Look, what saddens me is that you live in a country where we're supposed to have unit committee members. They are the implementers of the decentralization process. And then you have, town and area councils who are the managers of the decentralization process. You have the General Assembly, that's the executive. They would enact laws and all of that. But the question simply is, if at this level we cannot get districts to be clean, what is the essence of actually transferring power and funds to these districts?
Yeah.
What's the essence? Because the whole idea of a decentralized system is to create even competition between districts. So I know that, okay, I live in Ga East Municipal Assembly. If you live in, say, Ga South, and Ga South is better, it should actually trigger some bit of a competition. We'll take our assembly on and say, Ga East Municipal Assembly, you constructed a road this year, which is true, and the road is in a deplorable state already. So why did you do that? Because if you go to Ga Central, Ga West, their roads are not in those deplorable states. All these things we write on paper, but we never get to implement them as a country. Look, it's like the gun, and I keep saying this, using your mouth to weed. So when you come here, so today I'll weed the whole of Kokomlemele, and you're still standing at the same place. We talk too much in this country, talk only, no action, and that has been the bane of this country's development.
So in essence, Ghana is not decentralized. It's not.
Ghana
The only thing we have decentralized is corruption.
Well, but let me quote Ahoy to buttress your point. Professor Kwame Ahoy says Ghana practices a central government supply-driven decentralization.
What is that?
So the point is, even though you are transferring power and funds, and under decentralization, delegation, deconcentration, and devolution. As for deconcentration, you still would go to Accra for all the things you want to do. And when it comes to delegation, some of the things you can do on your own, and devolution is the highest form of decentralization. We're actually trying to practice a bit of a blend between delegation and devolution in this country. But what we have seen is that in many of the instances, it's just an extension of Accra to the districts. So government sits in Accra and procures for the districts and deducts funds from the district assembly's common fund to pay for it.
Kojo.
Yeah.
Is Winston going to give us a certificate for the lecture he's just given us on devolution and decentralization?
If we pass the exam.
Yes. There must be an exam after this one, because this one, But let me stay with the decentralization, devolution, and something else. Well, the AMA and Kole Klote have said that they are ready for the floods, and because we know that we're approaching the rainy season, so they are saying that, okay, well, they're ready. This is how they are ready. They're ready because they've built a few more drains, expanded some of the existing drains, and are educating the masses on how to get rid of rubbish properly. Because we know that because we know that
they've never done that before.
Oh, they have. They are re-educating because you know that. Oh, stop! You know that
they are building a few more drains.
They are expanding some of them. They have. Behave yourself, Kojo. They have, you know that the rubbish blocks the drains and then prevents the water from flowing. So they're telling people, not to dispose of their rubbish indiscriminately so that the drains don't get blocked. But this is quite funny because I was saying this on the radio, I think 2 days ago, that I went by the Odona and it was already quite full and full of rubbish already, and it hasn't actually started raining yet. So I'm not too sure about this. I think it's worth following up because, every year every single year, you know, we say we're ready for the floods, and then it starts to rain, and then we get into trouble with it. So
this year we may not have enough floods. Metro is telling us that we may not have enough rains.
Yeah.
So, though it's going to affect our planting season when it comes to properties being destroyed as a result of flooding. We'll be spared that. But it tells you what the Ghanaian has become.
So should we make this their KPI? You know, so AMA, Kole Klote, if they say they are ready, let's make this their KPI. It will rain. So if it rains and there are floods and we have destruction of property and we have, you know, people dying, then they have essentially failed, and then they must be sanctioned or sacked or whatever.
You see, the sanction, well, it will work if they were being elected. So you and I will decide that we vote them out.
But you see, that's not sacking.
No, but you see,
where we think we have power every 4 years.
But you see, the point is, as it stands now, if a president is happy with you, you stay. Unless your assembly members decide that they're going to pass a vote of no confidence in you. But the interesting thing is that we have seen government appointees in an assembly is 1/3. Government appointees in an assembly is 1/3. And it's happened before. I mean, the appointees were changed overnight and new appointees brought in to actually pass a DCE. The point is, if you want to sack a DCE today, and you're trusting the president to sack the DCE, it'll be difficult.
So, okay, I mean, our job, right? Our job as the media is to hold their feet to the fire. So, if they have made such a declaration that they are ready, I think it's our responsibility to check them and hold them up to it. And if indeed the rains come and we see destruction and death, then we have to ask the president. I mean, you appointed these people. Do you want to be associated with failure? We must ask him that question fairly. And if he keeps them in place as his response to us, then we know what he means by that. I think maybe that should be the way forward. Because waiting 4 years before we tell you how we feel, that it doesn't work for me. That's not democracy. Not every 4 years that we are democratic.
This one is talking about inflation. The fact that inflation is dropped from...
Which page is this?
This page 30 of the Daily Graphic. Yep. Inflation is reduced from 10.3% to 8.5% in April.
Wow.
So on the average, you know, the rate of increase is actually reducing. So prices of goods and services are increasing at a reducing rate.
At a decreasing rate.
At a decreasing rate, yes, they're increasing at a decreasing rate.
Yeah.
So as in, it was 10.3, and now compared to that, it's gone
so if every day something was going up by 50%, now by 50 pesos, now every day the same thing is going up by, let's say, 30 pesos.
If you're looking at 50 pesos and this, it will go up by...
doing the actual maths.
I'm just saying this is hypothetical.
Yes.
Hey, Professor
So this is coming from the statistical service.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I guess the thing that as a Ghanaian you now start doing in your head is that, okay, if these people are right, if what they're telling us is true, that means that last year prices increased more than they have this year. That's what this is telling us, right? So then I cast my mind back to last year. Did I feel that the increase in prices last year was more than this year's? I mean, do you feel that way?
I think how we translate inflation, how the average Ghanaian translates inflation, not those who really understand the economics of it, like Winston, is that, you know, when you hear inflation returns to single and drops from this to this, it doesn't mean much because the price is still going up. It only means something when the price is not going up. Do you know what I mean? Like how face masks have dropped from... They went from 150 to 70 to 50, and now they are 20 cedis.
Maybe that's what's driving.
That's what we understand by something has gone down. But you know, when something is still going up and you are saying no, it's decreasing, it's counterintuitive. You know, when you don't really get the economics for the average.
I think that the basket, they have a basket, a lot of, you know, things they use in calculating the average.
Is it a cane basket? Or
no. I mean, a basket is, lots of goods and services that are used in calculating inflation rate. And so some may have, increased marginally. And so that would actually draw others, draw the overall rate down. You understand? So assuming we're using Enimwa, Kojo, and Winston to calculate something, Now, Winston increases by 10%. Enimwa increases by 5%, and Kojo increases by 2%. If we add this, it will give us 17. If we divide it by 3, you're looking at getting about 6%. Now, the challenge is, I have increased by 10%. So the one who purchases me a lot is seeing an increase of 10%.
It's a holiday. My head is spinning me. Hey!
You understand?
Winston and maths. Okay, so
should we do my joy online?
Let's go my joy online. But by the way,
yes.
Did you note that there's nothing at all about Caleb Kuda?
Yes, still in the newspapers.
In the newspapers. Well, let's see what's online. Let's have a look at myjoyonline.com.
Okay, I have it here. Top story. I was slapped, kicked in the groin by national security officials. City FM's Caleb Kuda recounts ordeal. And that was yesterday. He was interviewed by Bernard Avle. Both he and Zoe Abubedu.
If we have a minute, I'd love to say something about that.
But
sure, should we do it now?
Yeah, sure,
okay.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of conversation about this on social media. And anytime somebody raises the question of how Caleb Kuda was treated, somebody counters with the question of why did he disobey the sign that says no photography. So I think maybe we should deal with it all right? You shouldn't disobey signs. But signs are not laws. No, so if you disobey a sign, for example, if it says formal wear only, and I come in a t-shirt, you throw me out. So if it says no photography, and I come and take pictures, you delete the pictures and you throw me out. The slapping and kicking in the groin, the beating up, the handcuffing and transporting to the TV station to go and chase his female colleague into the kitchen. Those are the things that don't match the offense, if indeed it is an offense.
Yeah, well, it's not even an offense.
So that's the thing I don't understand. Let's try and understand that, first of all, you can't arrest someone unless the person has broken a law. So which law did Caleb Kuda break?
He broke no law. You see, you cannot, arrest somebody for that which is not written. And any offense is written and a punishment attached to it.
Yeah.
So what is the punishment? There is
Good
none.
question.
That is the punishment. Look, for those who are trying to justify these things, let me say, okay, that we're building a nation. And irrespective of who is in government, the nation building process must go on. And the country called Ghana, which we all love so much, must be a better country than it was yesterday. We cannot go back and say, but what was he doing there? For Christ's sake, the young man was going to find out, whether indeed those vehicles,
verify a story.
Yes, those vehicles that said had been distributed. He saw the vehicles there anyway.
Yes, and so let me move on to the next story, which says over 90% of rotten vehicles at national security premises distributed, former Maslok boss is saying. But we also saw the communique that came and said that they had all been distributed.
So why don't you open it up for verification?
But now, now
instead
it's 90%.
Slapping people who go to verify.
Exactly. Okay, another story. Hashtag fix the country. Be measured in your expectation of Akufo-Addo due to COVID-19. That's according to the Chief of Staff. My question to her is why should we be measured in our expectations? He has been making promises, regardless of COVID-19. And Kojo, do you want to do
this one is interesting. I think it was, don't shake your car when fueling.
Do you see people doing that?
All the time. This is a transport consultant who gives this advice. In fact, it's a warning and admonition. Don't do it. Don't shake your car when fueling. And if you read the story, it'll tell you that, by the way, this is Jacob Amumensa from Top Tech who says this, Top Tech Transport and Logistics. Okay, so he's saying that, look, with the fuel tank, when you put in more fuel, there should be a space left for air to mix with the fuel. The moment you shake it, it covers all the space, and that could spark a fire. Sometimes you see people's cars burning, and they can't do anything about it. Shake it.
Yeah, and then when you go to the fuel pumps and you say, you're filling up, they ask you, should I shake it? Because the thing, they feel like when you shake it, then it fills the spaces, then you can actually, get a real filling,
But the truth is that, look, somebody Can you make a car?
I wonder who the idea originated.
Very good point. Can you manufacture a car?
No.
I can't manufacture a car either.
Certainly not.
People who can.
Maybe Winston.
Have designed these things so that when you are filling your tank and it's full, you hear a click. Yes. Somebody has done the work. Then you see a taxi driver.
Yeah, shaking
it because he knows better than Toyota or Shell.
Yeah.
He is smarter than them. So he's shaking his car to fill it because you see, these are some of the things we do. There's a word for it. I'll find it for you. People who, anyway. Look, please don't do it. It's not safe. You could start a fire. That's the last thing you want to do.
And burn your own car. Yeah.
When it's full, it will click. When it clicks, stop.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break now. And when we come back, we'll bring you sports. There's something that we'd like to do now. We would love to share with you a story. So Joy Sports is telling the story of Ghana's hijab-wearing football sensation. Joy Sports editor George Addo Jr. spent some time with a female footballer, and here is his feature.
March 9, 2021. Sunday afternoon filled with huge expectation as Northern Ladies play Ampem Dakwa Ladies on March Day 7 of the Ghana Women's League in Techiman.
When we were from the locker room, getting into the tunnel to get into the field, there were the security. There were some two security. They were lady, and they are from here. I didn't know they were from here. And when the girls passed and she was a man, then they started talking, and it was in our local language. In Techiman. So they said, "Oh, look at this girl. She's very beautiful, and she's using this."
It will be a perfect day for the young and aspiring Anatu Sadat to surprise the world and take a bold step down the faith lane.
They didn't know anything about it, and I told them, yeah, I'm going to use it. And I could see in the back in the stands, the supporters, all eyes were just on me. They were just asking, what was this girl wearing?
It's a hijab she's got on. The news will go viral, and the Ghana Football Association forced to issue a statement that in effect frees other Muslim female footballers if they so wish to have the hijab on during a game.
We start with the touching story of Anatu Sadat, who made history in Ghana women's football almost a couple of weeks ago when she became the first player to wear hijab in the league.
My name is Anatu Sadat, former player of Mobile Ladies FC, currently playing for Northern Ladies in Tamale. I'm very happy I'm the first Ghanaian woman to use the hijab to play football, and I hope my fellow Muslims girl will also use it in playing as well.
On February 25, 2007, 11-year-old Asmara Mansa was prevented from playing in a regional tournament in Canada because she had the hijab on. Her appeal on the decision to the Canadian Football Association was rejected as the association affirmed the referee's decision not to allow Mansour play. She wouldn't give up and took the case to FIFA, the lawmakers, to reconsider hijabs in women's football. However, the case was rejected on health grounds as the governing body said the hijab could pose danger with the potential of strangling a player or injuring an opponent. For 7 years, young aspiring female footballers had to choose between faith or football. In 2014, Jerome Valke, FIFA's then General Secretary, announced that religious head coverings, including hijabs, will be permitted in football games. So what's Islam's position on hijabs? And how did it find its way deep into the religion? I took a short trip to the Tamale Central Mosque, Masjidu Salam, and got education from Imam Sheikh Al-Habib Adabiya.
So it's Friday, and time for Friday prayers. I'm heading into the mosque to pray to, but more importantly, to meet Sadat and speak to her Imam.
Salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Tuli tapana hijabi tuli draka muslimin annabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam o paɣaba sani sɔhabinim daa kpɛrila yira to kalala ŋɔ maa karima muɣisigu pam domin paɣa nyɛla jilima paɣa bini ti daa diini puuni ka tuduma Naawuni talla daa ti siɣisi ayana n-mɔŋ wato sɔhabinim maa ni bi kpɛri paɣaba maa sani lala yirin ka mɔŋ ba ka yɛn kadama bi yɛn bɔhi ba yɛltɔɣa gba bee binshɛɣu to bin bɔhim ba min wara il-hijab bin chɛ ka bin be bi sunsuuni to kana nche ka tuduma Naawuni talla na o ti siɣisi ayana suratul ahzab in yɛli annabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa paɣaba ni mu'minnim zaasa nangban yini din ka tuduma Naawuni ya ayyuhan nabi kulli azwajika wa nisa'ika wa banatil mu'minin yudnina alaihinna min jalabibihinna nima ni ka ti nya hijabiyam lala ayan wama no yɛli mu paɣaba ka yɛli mu'minnim paɣaba no bipuɣinsi so kam zaasa yam hijab na din zo hal da ba dɔli ni amiliya paɣa ni ka amiliya paɣa bi yam hijab maa mi nyɛla binshɛɣu din limsi zuɣu ŋɔ hal ni gbunni na.
Accepting the hijab opens the door to future requests from other religions to include kits that are symbolic while playing. While FIFA would need to address the issue when it arises, I needed to find out how problematic not playing with a hijab was for young Muslim girls.
The most pam biponsi babe en yusar hijabi baballam sar bamanga domin pauna da kutumani wallam so ma lola kamzasa bayi o muno idan konko du to amma diyan zai no to me bolle da bollin wama ka haramun dinya ne amma musun sun mallabin shaka biyan haram illa bihi fa huwa haram ban shadin kuto haramu kuto ne ce ne to balle haramu because the origin da fa haramu bollin yabo amma diyan me bolle ma billim suba mara da la conditions ma biyan mi ka hijaba biyani ka halba ka bidim subilan watching match ma da wasu sun dabba bu watching before sama ka ban miyar bolle domin exercise da nyala ban sha'arin ne da ne halasi ka pagwa ma right no exercise so mara anan sallallahu alaihi wasallam yace mu'minul qawi khairun wa ahabbu ila Allah min al-mu'min ad-da'if كان وفي كل خير نمؤمن سونغو ميا نغبناني ومال الهيري انغا مؤمن تشانغو وانكيا اما نبس نبمال الهيري تونزو باغبا ينا نوت اكسايسن يا دفجلا تو اما with conditions the trenu lim so ma ya ma to be pon sama zabra ma ban charlie da biha na bagbal fana da mosar ta fan da ba to kamata na the trenu yina na sifa shaldin ye pa sifa ba hal diyan yela ko yina na pa sifa domini alam man duba da banyar haram annabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam na wani so won to asar dabba na da shagba ban to asar pa so do pa tumika dabban sal pantina ma ka yarba je sinema dabban ne man bala so bi yiti even na ka banyar bolla ba pan vin ga ku gwana pa ban bala ma dan ma za ne haram is against the Muslim sunwama Islam. Now
it took 7 years for the new culture in women's football to permeate the borders of Ghana. Annatu Sadat, a true daughter of the Mashtu Salam Mosque in Tamale Central, became the first player to wear a hijab in Ghana's Women's League. And well, there was every reason to suspect it was always going to be Annatu.
We have 4 girls back in the house, just for no boy. So actually, I had been doing the boy job there with the soccer and all. Among all my siblings, I was somehow odd among them with my dressing and stuff. So growing up, I've always had the passion for the game. So at a tender age, I could remember myself that I started at a tender age. I started with the boys around. Then later on, I joined a club around the community as well, that's Nimobi Ladies. So from there, back in primary and JHS, I played the school team. Then I also continued in JHS too. SHS rather, Tiamodia, back in Kumasi. Then from there, I'm in Tamale.
Northern Ladies, good. Take me a little bit back to your primary school, and so how was the football like in primary school? Were you the captain? Were you playing? What?
I remember the whole school, I would say I was the girl who plays the ball. So like I had this shine in school, because if you just mention my name, they all know who I was. Because even if you are playing on the field, I could just dribble from my pole, then I'll go to the other pole. That's my opponent and score. So there was this shine on me throughout back in primary and JHS too. SHS rather. Yes, but SHS there was this challenge because a lot of people, I mingled with a lot. The challenge there was different. Although I was out, I knew how to play, but a lot of people were also there, so I had to bring out myself, I had to also make a sport for myself too.
In Ghana, it's normal to see nationals travel down south, open up for career opportunities and, in a football sense, play for some elite football clubs and, as it were, get closer to the powers that be. But Anatu's case was the exact opposite, strong enough to resist the temptation of the south for the north.
I never thought I would be in Tamale. When I think about it, I ask myself, what am I doing here? But this is the case where it just happened. It's an opportunity that came. But at first, I really had a difficult time grabbing it because I see that it was far and I didn't know anyone here. I've never been here. So it's something I thought about a lot before. But Coach Bashir, that's my current coach now, he had a lot with the mind change because the way he talked, and I just felt there's something that I would get there if I went there. So my dad also had some mind change too. He also talked to me and my friends as well. So I came here and it wasn't bad at all. Like, I'm glad I made that decision.
Tamale will open her up so much to Islam, and perhaps the very reason for the inbuilt resolve to carry her faith to unknown levels and before the crowd.
It is a custom. It's a custom in the Islamic community, and I think it is something everyone knows that as a woman you have to cover your hair and most parts of your body. It is something that's there. We all know that. So growing up, I knew there's this thing that I wasn't doing. It is something that we weren't allowed to do rather, and I haven't seen people doing it. So I had it in mind always, but I just couldn't get something more comfortable enough to use it to fulfill that wish that I had. So when I just got this opportunity, I just make the use of it. So I just use it.
So did you watch some videos of other ladies playing with hijab, or you were just in your world deciding that this should be it?
Yeah, I wanted to do it a long time, and I've seen other countries, the Arab countries, use it in the Women's World Cup and stuff. So I've seen it, but we weren't practicing it in Ghana. We didn't have that kind of materials for us to use it. We weren't using it, so it was something that felt weird. It felt weird because no one stepped out to do it because we weren't exposed to such things. So when I just got it, I had this fear, like backing down and stuff, because I would be like, others would talk like, why, what's this and what's this? I had this doubt and stuff, but I didn't let it stop me. I just do it regardless of all.
That single act on the football pitch was not orchestrated by just Anatu. Her coach, who has been closely monitoring everything she did, was a key part of the plot. Coach Bashiruddin Somani is the head coach of Northern Ladies.
There when she called, Coach, I want to see you, and said, okay, I'm in the house. She lives behind here. Yeah. And then she came. She told me how she had a colleague, and she was invited to Right to Dream in academy here before she moved to her own club, Nimobi Ladies. She told me how she had a colleague now living in Denmark, and she has a project that every year the guy gets that type of products, and then he distributes it to the community. Yes. Yeah, and then he has decided to link it with her in a sports way, because other ones that he normally brings is not comfortable when playing football. Now he will decide on getting the company to design it in a comfortable way to use it for football. And I said, oh, that's good, because Islamically we have problems to that. Many a times parents do not allow their girls to play because of these issues. So I was very happy getting someone to bring that sort of aviation to us, and then I was very happy and said, oh, I welcome it very well, and I even discussed to one or two people who are connected to the guy and the father too. So, and I was even the one following to know when the things would come. But we thought we would have gotten them before we start the league.
Yeah.
But fortunately, to get someone bring it was a problem. Got that one and the bra and a leg stretch. So it was just that the match she used it, we were having problems with the color of the under one, the long stretch with our JC. That was a problem. But we could talk to the match commissioner, and then she got information to the front. She also engaged the FA. They said it's allowed because I know it's allowed. And she wanted to be clear from the FA. It was agreed.
And as a coach, he admits his focus was heavily divided on the day. Football, yes, but the kind of reaction Anatu was getting.
I can remember when we were from the locker room getting into the tunnel to get into the field. There were the security, there were some two security, they were lady, and they are from here. I didn't know they were from here. And when the girls passed and she was among them, then they started talking, and it was in our local language, in Techima. So they said, oh, look at this girl, she's very beautiful, and she's using this. I think this is the first time I've seen a lady. That was what they were saying. So I turned and I said, oh, are you from Tamale? They said, yes. Oh, coach. Now we greeted each other. That was the time they drew my attention to. When I heard their conversation, then my mind were there, and I was there. And then when she was on the pitch for the warm-up, and the cameras were on her, people were taking pictures with her and all those things. And then after the warm-up, the venue media officer there was strictly wanted to take pictures to the FA, and then even had some short videos for her. And I just spoke to her and I told her that she should just take it normal, as she has been wearing the other ones, the normal ones. Just forget about it and think about the game. It's very important. So we're lucky on that day. She didn't even kept it in her mind, and she was out there. And that was the day I saw the best in her. She really performed very well. Everybody testified it. Even their fans, after the match was after the end of the match, many of them took pictures with her, and they were telling her she has done well. They thought she was just putting something there to at least catch some fun. But really, it's not about putting the thing, but she really has something in her. And that was her best game.
Sadat is a beneficiary of Maxwell Woleji Hijab Project. Both grew up with Woleji playing at the Diamond Siege and Anatu playing for Nimobi Ladies. In 2019, Woleji, who currently plays for FC Nordsjælland, launched the Hijab Project, which provided sporting hijabs, bra, boots and coverings for Muslim girls who wanted to play football in Nima. He partnered Nike to help in the designing and delivery of these hijabs.
I just want to see more people in Ghana having the freedom to participate in whatever they love, especially Muslims, you know. As we all believe that it's better to cover your hair, or it's better not to leave your hair exposed to participate in any sport. So I believe that this hijab is going to help a lot of Muslim girls to have the freedom to participate in whatever they love doing. Looking at the smile coming from the girls' faces, I think it's something that make me proud, and I feel like this is one of the goals I set to myself, to just see smiles on their faces. And right now, as this is trending, one of a girl from my project named Anatu Sadat, who is now playing in the Ghana Women's League, and now she's the first girl to wear the hijab in Ghana, which I'm proud and happy, because it's also one of my goals to achieve, to make sure that the GFA allow them to wear hijab or veil in the league.
After Sadat, who is one of the 150 females to have benefited from the initiative, The Ghana Football Association confirmed that females are now allowed to wear hijabs in league matches. The FA statement signed by the General Secretary Prosper Ado read, through our core values of inclusiveness and creating enabling environments for every player to feel comfortable and exhibit their talents, the Football Association allows the wearing of hijabs during our league games. Anatu agrees. She played her best game for Northern Ladies on that day despite losing 4-2 to Ampem Dakwa Ladies.
Everybody was surprised and they were asking, am I going to use it to put in? I said, of course. They were just asking. Even the Muslims were asking. I don't know whether, because it hasn't been there, no one has been doing. So they were surprised. Then in a point I even got, I was like, my Christian mates are asking, why is it that my fellow Muslims are so asking? Then I just said, it's okay, because they didn't know anything about it. And actually, I told them, yeah, I'm going to use it. And I could see in the back, in the stands, the supporters, all eyes were just on me. They were just asking, what's this girl wearing? What is this? Like, most of my friends even thought I had an injury in my hair or something. I don't know. So I had to explain it to them. My fellows had to explain it to them. And even whilst playing, I could see the spot on me. People were just looking at me. So at the point, I even felt shy. I was shy because I was odd among all the teams, both my team and the opponent. I was just odd among them. So I didn't let it discourage me.
Did you have a good game?
Yeah, I did, and I would even say that was my best game throughout the first run. Yeah, I did enjoy it. So I don't know whether I had this. I don't know, but I would say it's good. It's good because it is I did something new there, something different, and actually my game also changed. So
you play well.
I'm okay.
So on the pitch, no obstruction, no uneasiness, the fact that you're in a hijabi and moving?
No, not at all. Nothing restrained me at all. Nothing. It's just different because it's actually made in a sporting way.
Yes.
So the comfortability is there. It's just okay. I don't even feel like I'm wearing anything.
And her imam could only be proud of her exploits on the field. And upon seeing a daughter of the Tamale Central Mosque demonstrating to the world the very principles she's been taught through the years, was such a joy.
Alhamdulillah, to paya pam ne tinye kamani lala te bi pombulwama o yina no tinye bolle ka dole muslim se zai sonwama wallahi to paya pam to appreciate ya ka sura ato ne na wona talanci wotam lala solmazo ka sura tir wotam zasa ne na wona talanci ka baliho ka to asro Monso, no yina ten exercise, no yina te ngbaku jam sheldom paharamu to ama diye nandun dwell muslims to bandira abi Saudi Arabia Islamic of Medina to baraja bolle but tiye me bolle ma tramal la pan shelton sora kariyata dunashi halka to dwell ba because hal dabba ma ba I so pant ma kar ba pa duna ma she duga za sanya la haram in Islam.
Yeah. So when you met Sadat, what did you tell her after hearing that she had used the hijab for a game?
Ye o open mo manga ona ko bela la ngoma puni dinde nan ka football pambama ka bamwangle a can Ghana zai su puni da bamwan no yina no mbon no yene shal mi bolle da bamwan lala dan zo kon to bela la ne mamani in yara dan zo pansam ne for wom nyirba ne yelo shi.
In a world where faith and sports rarely mix, Anatu Sadat has braved the odds to find the perfect spot where these two met and blossomed.
Right, so that's the story by George Ado Jr. on the hijab-wearing footballer. So, I mean, I like the fact that, these young ladies decided to wear hijab, and there's a team of female, players who wear hijab and get onto the pitch. I mean, it clearly shows a country. I mean, recent events have not been the best, but at least this one is one that's good, that, people are allowed to practice their faith in this country.
A positive development. And you see, that's the thing. I mean, as a society, we should be looking at being more inclusive. How can we allow more people to do more things? Because in the past, those who have been left out may have been the key to unlock greatness in some of the endeavors that we've been wasting many years trying to do. So why exclude Why exclude? Who benefits from exclusion? Why not include more people, give people the opportunity to do the things that in the past they might have been restricted from because of their religion or their gender or whatever the reasons may have been. I'm so excited by this story. Now the example is there. So other young girls of Islamic faith who might be interested in football, who might be pretty good at it, who would have thought that they won't be allowed because of the fact that they can't cover up. Now they see the example. And of course, the authorities have made this officially acceptable, which is brilliant. So now that the example is out there, we're hoping that it will encourage more. And who knows what amazing talent we might end up unearthing because of inclusion.
Exactly, Kojo. And now that you've raised this issue, it reminds me, and this is no lecture, it reminds me of of a thing, the study of religion would teach you. I mean, two principles, I think it's been taken from psychology, eidetic vision, and it tells you a simple thing. The eidetic vision says you should empathize with people, empathize with them. So just feel how that person would have felt if you were in the person's shoes. But that's the key to religious tolerance. Ask yourself, if I were in Kojo's shoes, how would I have felt? And for me, that's how I actually understand religion, and is the reason when I see another person practicing a different faith, it doesn't bother me at all.
Indeed, indeed. And in fact, we should celebrate each other and our differences. That's what makes us strong. The fact that different people believe in different things, but we're all together in this one country. In fact, every time I see people of a certain religion trying to exclude others, okay, and you've pointed to recent events. I don't want to go and touch on them, but anytime I see people of one religion trying to exclude others, I think of the Pharisees. That's the image that comes to my mind. Those people who actually think they are holier than thou, but are on a fast track to hell. Because you say you are Christian, like Christ. What would Jesus do? Who did Jesus hang out with when he was on earth? Who did he spend time with? Sometimes we have to ask ourselves a few of these questions. But today is a day to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, and we're so excited that our brothers and sisters of the Muslim faith are marking this all-important day. We'll take you to Tamale in a short while, where our colleague Manuel Kranting has been honored to witness the morning prayers. That's to come after these. That's
true. That's true. If you take Daddy Lumba away, it's Kofi Kinata.
Yeah, if you take Daddy Lumba away.
And now that Daddy Lumba isn't singing,
he's not actively singing,
then it's Kofi Kinata.
Okay.
No challenger.
Well, I'm not challenging that at all.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, it's our very special Eid al-Fitr edition of the AM show. My name is Kojianks. I'm here with Winston, and we've got a lot to share with you. Our colleague Manuel Kranting is in the Lameshegu Park in Tamale, where Muslims have just finished their prayers. So we can join him now to find out how the good people of Tamale are celebrating Eid al-Fitr. And actually, the person you can see in the shot there, that's Haruna Idrisu, who is the minority.
Indeed, the Eid prayers just ended, and of course, the Eid al-Fitr celebration has just been opened right here within the Tamale metropolis. In fact, a number of dignitaries, have been coming through to pray with the Muslim community here. Essentially, of course, you know that the Eid al-Fitr celebration sort of signifies the termination of the 30-day Ramadan fast, and of course a lot of them are really upbeat to go back to their regular activities. But then again, the most important takeaway for them is that the blessings of Allah will be falling on them as they terminate this particular Ramadan season. It's been a bit distinct, and you know that last year there were a lot of restrictions on the celebration of Eid al-Fitr. This year there's still been some restrictions, essentially some of them including the fact that they actually had to come to the park to pray and not in the regular mosques where they are all packed up and there's not so much spacing. And so these are some of the things that I have noticed. And of course, in your shots currently, the Honorable Aruna Idrisu, the minority leader in Parliament, and I'll be trying to speak to him, briefly to get some reactions. But let me start off, by talking to my very good friend here. Very good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Great. What's your name?
My name is Al-Hassan Abdullah Idi.
Okay, Al-Hassan Abdullah. I mean, tell me, you have celebrated Eid al-Fitr a number of times, and we'll be talking to a lot of your senior colleagues here also. But what's been different this year?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I think the Eid celebration itself is a rare opportunity, a celebration to mark the end of the 29-30 days period of fasting and encounter with our Maker. And so this very celebration often comes with excitement that we have successfully ended the 29-30 days period of fasting. Yes, over the years it's been more exciting and more engaging, involving. Many people turn out, but this very one you can see the number is very low. The turnout is very, very low. Many people have varied information. Others got involved. They were asked to pray in our respective mosques in our communities, but not to come to the congregational prayer as we have been doing every year. So that in itself affected the turnout. And even those who are here, many of them are a bit worried. You can see everybody is in nose masks. Well, maybe a few are not in nose masks, but some are in nose masks. And of course, if you interact with them, they are quite cautious. Over the years, we could engage and shake hands very well, but this time around, you either exchange the greetings with the elbows or shoulders, and if you extend a hand to someone to greet, that person is quite cautious to receive the handshake because that person doesn't know whether you are carrying the virus along or not. So this very year's celebration is in a way a bit down because of the threat of the COVID. Everybody is being cautious and careful. Thank you.
Indeed, and just take me through. I saw as the prayers were going on some bit of segregation. Right. The males were in front and then the females were at the back. I mean, what's the meaning or significance of that?
That has been the tradition or the practice in Islam. In Islam, you would never find a female taking the lead before the male follows. I think there are some religious beliefs associated with that. Is to prevent distractions. If the females are in front, some men are likely to shift focus in trying to look at the ladies when they bend down to pray or when they are doing their prayer. So it's often advised that the male take the lead, then the female follow behind. There could be other Quranic quotations to back that, but this is what I can briefly say about that. Yes.
I see. So as we celebrate this, what is your message to your colleagues within the Tamale metropolis and indeed across the country?
We say Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah to all to our Maker for the opportunity that He has granted us. We have had a successful encounter with Him within the month of blessing, exceptional out of the 12 months that we deal with. As we have just ended, we call on Him to continue to give us His blessings, protect us and give us long life, and we'll continue to give praises to Him.
Okay, Barakat Sangla, and I'll say Subhanallah. But let me speak to a few more people. Kojo, this morning, I'm grateful that you could speak to us. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Al-Hassan Suleimana.
Okay, Al-Hassan Suleimana. Well, today's a great day for us, correct?
Certainly.
I mean, how do you feel having to do this within the context of a lot of restrictions?
We must, indicate clearly that having this particular, Eid here in this particular restriction is something that will help, curb the menace of the coronavirus, and then it's something that is very good because government placing restriction on this particular, occasion or gathering like this is something that is very good because it is, it means of ensuring that coronavirus is minimized in the country. So I think there's nothing wrong with it. We have to adhere to these particular restrictions. And
definitely,
yes.
Definitely, Al-Hassan. And just about now, we're hearing the Imam here, saying some really powerful prayers for the community, and indeed, I just heard him mention JoyNews and praying for the team at JoyNews, and in fact asking Allah for journey mercies even as we leave Tamale and head back to Accra. But of course, I'll just let you hear the prayers that he's saying.
وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك السميع الدعاء وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون سلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين صلى على رسول الكريم.
Great. So right about now you're seeing some exchange of pleasantries between among the leadership of the Muslim community here in Tamale, and then their Member of Parliament, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, who also, of course, doubles as the minority leader in Parliament. We'll be taking some quick reactions from him as he, gets up to move now. And so in your shot now, you're seeing the Honorable Haruna Idrisu exchanging some pleasantries. Barka de Sala say. Barka de Sala.
Barka Kade.
I mean, this is different. This is not the normal Eid al-Fitr prayers that we'll see in the years past. I mean, 2 years and so beyond. Tell us your own reaction about to this one.
We are still, as a country and as a people, as you listen to the Imam praying against the ravages and impact of COVID. And we've prayed to Allah wa Ta'ala to protect our country, Ghana, and its people from the disease called COVID. And we've prayed to Allah wa Ta'ala that He saves our people. We have successfully completed the pursuit of Ramadan in fulfillment of a major pillar of Islam. It's my prayer and belief that the values and discipline that characterize Ramadan will characterize our life beyond Ramadan. That is what the essence is. Carry that moral high, carry that discipline, and let it guide your life. We ask for Allah's forgiveness. We ask for our own forgiveness against our own trespasses. But we live in extraordinary times with COVID. But there are worrying developments in Ghana, which points to...
And that's one thing I'm going to ask you, of course, that this year's celebration has not been without, specific events. For instance, in Wesley Girls High School, we're hearing that Muslims, they are not being allowed to say their prayers, and they are not being allowed to fast, as it were.
We need to guard against the emergence of religious chauvinism in Ghana, and we must all jealously protect and preserve the peace of our country, the harmony that exists. Ghana has a reputation of peaceful coexistence and religious tolerance. We do not need to engage in any action that will undermine that respected reputation of our country as an oasis of peace. We should not sacrifice a peace on the altar of religious differences, but fundamental human rights and freedoms, including the right to freedom of belief and freedom of conscience, are not divisible rights. And therefore, every Ghanaian is entitled to the full benefits of those rights, including Muslim girls and Muslim boys. We simply demand respect to that inalienable constitutional right of the right to believe and the right to freedom of conscience. It is not a right that is divisible. And as I said, it's important that we preserve the peace of the country, we continue to coexist, and we continue to tolerate each other even in our differences. Let's not undermine the peace of the country on the altar of religious superiority.
But how do you react to the argument that indeed, just as we talk about rights, the church, for instance, also has a right to establish institutions to further its cause and so on? That's the argument that the Methodist Church, for instance, makes, that this is a school that we have established to, as it were, expand and propagate the message of the Methodist Church. And for that reason, they're claiming that right. Is this something that you don't agree with?
I said every Ghanaian child, including the Muslim child, has the right to the benefit guaranteed under the 1992 Constitution, including the right to freedom of belief and freedom of conscience. That right, in my view, is vested in that young man. He has that right.
Right, he does. But Honorable, I mean, it's not only even in the Islamic faith. For instance,
is vested in the individual.
And you're seeing him exchange some pleasantries with them. I'm going to ask him about the current issue with the media. And you know that 2 days ago, a journalist with City FM, City TV, was arrested, by the National Security. National Security arrested some journalists with City FM, City TV. Just quickly, I just want to pick your thoughts on that. But they make a point that he was filming, in an unauthorized zone, a security zone. You've heard that. When you heard it, what was your initial reaction?
Nana Addo Dankwa and his MPP government is reducing Ghana to a police state. And that is not acceptable. The rise of journalism to film is to provide evidence of what they have seen and to report what is real and what is practical, what is wrong. I think the excesses are getting too much. This government must watch it. I at least expected that this will happen under Nana Akufo-Addo as president of Ghana. He probably was only preaching and preserving fundamental human rights and freedoms, only seeking office of president, but not serving with respect for those rights and freedoms as president. That's very disappointing, and those journalists are entitled to practice their trade and vocation freely without any interference. Independence Square.
Well, this was at the National Security Installation at Bluegate.
National Security Installation. And it is a way that the arrest could have been done, not in a manner which protects the dignity guaranteed in Article 15 of the Constitution. Must they read them in that Gestapo style, as if they were reading another Radio Gold?
and then finally, Honorable, we know that the Honorable
no further comment.
Okay, so you're hearing the Honorable Harry Naidu, who says that no further comment. That's a question I was going to ask him about the NDC's minorities position on Kiseja Beng's nomination as the next special prosecutor. They have expressed some misgivings about this nomination, and sort of linked him to the infamous Ejapa royalties agreement and so on and so forth. But of course, he says that no comment just at this moment. We'll try and get your reactions. But from here at the Tamale Lameshegu Park, I'll just wrap up with you. You seem really upbeat. You're satisfied with the call by the honorable minority leader for religious tolerance, correct?
Yeah, I think it's something that is very good and it's a step in the right direction. It is something that would, promote, general, unity in the country. So I allude to that in that regard.
Okay.
Yes.
Grateful that she could speak to us. And so it is a full-blown Sanla Day, Kojo. I see you are in your jalabia. Well, I am also in mine. The only hard luck for you is that you are not in Tamale to enjoy the real the real Sanla. But from Lameshegu Park here in Tamale,
I'm handing over back to you in studio in Accra.
Thank you, Manuel. You lucky, lucky man. Enjoy that meet on our behalf. Certainly, it's going to be the place to be, Tamale.
Oh, yes. And, well, he wouldn't be the only one to enjoy meat on our behalf. I would enjoy meat too. So it's something that must happen.
Yes,
we are one people, one Ghana, one country. We do things together, so why not?
Your meat is my meat. So please.
That sounds like the Ubuntu spirit.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, there's more to come. More Muslims around the globe are celebrating on a day like this. And so as the fast comes to an end, we are certainly marking it in a big way today. We'll take some messages. We'll be back after these.
Right, so welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us. It's the special Eid edition of the AM show. I almost said the Super Morning Show. My name is Winston. I'm here with Kojo Hansen. And Mfantsipim School at the Saddle College and University Practice Secondary School and Asin State College will later today battle for the bragging rights as Central Region's National Science and Maths Quiz champions. Now, Mfantsipim School overturned a 4-point lead by St. Augustine's College in the final round to win the contest, which also featured Wesley Girls High School and Swedru Senior High School. University Practice Senior High School also managed to cancel a 3-point lead by Apam Senior High School in the last round to qualify for the finals. And for you, Kojo Youngson, so I know that you went to St. Augustine's College. Professor Youngson also went to Apam Secondary School.
And I actually spent a couple of terms at University Practice Secondary School before I went to St. Augustine's.
Can you imagine? So it's a bad day for you, but University Practice actually managed to qualify. Well, let's go for Maxwell Agbagba's report, and when we return, we get to have a conversation with Maxwell Agbagba still on the National Science and Maths Quiz. And I tell you what, Kojo Youngson has lost a bet and he has to do singing. I just decided to let the bet be redeemed today after this report.
To be forever blessed. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Mfantsipim School has qualified to the grand finale of the 2021 Central Regional National Science and Maths Quiz Championship. Well, they did that after beating two seeded schools, St. Augustine's College and then Wesley Girls High School. It was the third school, Swedru SHS. They beat them to qualify. They came all the way from the regionals. They qualified to the 2021 main competition in October yesterday. And now they've qualified to the grand finale of the championship. Congratulations are in order, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, what was the feeling like? At the end of round 3, you were behind by 4 points. And then you were able to overturn things in the final round, round 4, to win with how many points? 3 points.
Well, first of all, we think everything is grace. It was grace from round 1 through to the last round, which was the round 4. And it's an amazing feeling. And we think it's just like our coordinator always says, every quiz is a quiz. Going into the quiz, give your best, and nature will reward you for your good work. So we think our teachers and everyone did their best, and we went there to give our best, and thankfully it has paid off. So we are very grateful, and we hope that the grace of the Lord will continue to be with us.
So what should we expect in the grand finale? And Disco is in there. Any message for them?
Well, we don't have any message for any particular school because, just as I said, our coordinator always says every quiz is a quiz. It doesn't matter which school you are going to meet. Just go in there, give your best. So we are coming tomorrow to do the best we can, and we hope that the grace of the Lord will be with us and we will come out victorious tomorrow too.
Let me speak to your coordinator. How excited are you?
It's a mixed feeling. Coming back, I was there in 2019. It wasn't a pleasant feeling to lose to our sworn rivals, but I think it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
At the regional level, we really don't. That's not our target for now.
Yeah.
Though it's a good thing to win against one of our sworn rivals. The bragging rights all over the place, but our target is tomorrow and then subsequently the nationals.
Okay.
And we hope that God will see us through. God will see us through.
It's Disco another rival.
At Disco is, but as the boy said, we take a contest at a time, and then we give up our best. Strategize for every contest we go into. That's all we have been doing, and God is gracious unto us.
Okay, congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much.
University practice, they've qualified to the grand finale that will be happening on Thursday. After round 3, they were down by 3 points. Yeah. And then at the end of round 4, they came up by 3 points.
Yes, I'm an old boy. Okay. Yes, once I was also a teacher there some time ago. What's the Keka University now? Yes. In fact, the feeling is so high. But we are much excited. You see, when it comes to science and math, as I told you yesterday, we have a history in it, so we don't joke with it. You see, we see Apam was just small boys for us, so we are hosting, we are winning tomorrow. Yes.
So what should we expect in the final?
Oh, I really appreciate the effort of Apam Senior High. They are good, but they cannot defeat UPSHS because UPSHS is indisputably unbreakable.
Yeah. What should we expect in the finals on Thursday?
Oh, the finals, we are going to win it. We are going to win. We are going to beat them with a wide gap. Not just we are going to win it, we are going to win it with a wide gap. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Guys are good.
Well, so that was Maxwell Agbagba's report. You saw, the boys from Fanspim celebrating after defeating St. Augustine's College, and also the University Practice Secondary School. I mean, you probably used to shorten it in those days. Also very excited because they're competing today for the bragging rights as champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz in the Central Region. Let's get to Maxwell Agbagba now. He's been there, and he has been engaging with all the students. He's been engaging with organizers. Thank you very much, Maxwell Agbagba, for joining us. We believe you're doing very well. Great to have you. Yes, we know that St. Augustine's is out. They will not be in the finals. We know that in Fanspim, it's in the final. We know at Sin State College, we know University Practice SHS, and at Desado College, Kojo is shaking the head here. I mean, I just had to repeat that several times, for him to understand that his school will not be in there. But tell us, I mean, how are the preparations going? And, beyond the JAMA and everything, how are the schools getting prepared, particularly in Fanspim that beat St. Augustine's College?
Well, he just had to rub that in. I know.
You can understand, can't you?
All is set for the grand finale. All is set for the grand finale. We will be moving to the grounds shortly. But information that we have is that some of the schools have actually started arriving. And the competition is scheduled to take place at 12 p.m. Later today at the School of Medical Sciences at the University of Cape Coast. But already some schools are arriving, and also because it is a holiday, you expect some old students, to come around to cheer their school to victory. The Infantsipim contest that you made reference to, yesterday, proud to the contest. Infantsipim School, Wesley Girls High School, St. Augustine's College, and then Swedro Senior High School. Proud to the contest, I engaged some old students of Wesley Girls, and they were upbeat, they were hopeful. They said they were yearning for a victory because they told me actually the school has dominated conversations in the media for reasons we all know, and they were hoping that that victory, would bring them some kind of relief. But that victory actually eluded them. It also eluded former Central Regional champions, St. Augustine's College. Just to give you some background, the National Science and Maths Quiz Championship actually started in 2019. So in 2019, the maiden edition, St. Augustine's College, Koje Yangson's St. Augustine's College actually won the maiden edition. And then the second edition of that championship was won by Wesley Girls High School. So these were two champions. In front, Wesley Girls High School, Augasco, two champions, and then we had Swedro SHS.
Okay.
Not many gave Infant Supreme School a chance because they were actually starting the 2021 qualification from the regional level. Many saw Augasco and then Wegehe as former champions and seeded schools for the competition later in October. But at the end of the day, Infant Supreme School shocked all the people in the room, even in the manner, the spirited manner in which they did it. In round 3, St. Augustine's College was leading them with 4 points. Now in round 4, the final round, we just have 4 questions. And they were able to answer some of them, and at the end of the day, they beat St. Augustine's College with 3 points. In fact, they have put up, one of the best performances that we've seen. In
exactly. Maxwell,
they had one of the highest points.
Okay.
That was at 66 points.
Okay. Maxwell, so I know that you spoke to the boys from Fanspim. They've talked about how God and every quiz is a quiz. But I know one of the things you do also is that when a school loses, you speak to the boys to find out what happened. Now, in the case of St. Augustine's, what did the boys tell you?
Wow. Usually after every contest, you find them in the room hoping to talk to you, after the competition. But this time around, we really did not know what happened. Just minutes after the contest ended and the presentation done, they were out of the room.
You mean that because of the disappointment?
Did not get opportunity to have a conversation with them.
Okay, so in effect, because of their disappointment, they didn't even wait, as has been the norm, but left the auditorium, right? Is that the case?
Possibly. possibly. Yeah, possibly. That could be the reason why, they left, because many of them were hopeful that they were going to beat, Infant Supreme School. And as you had a teacher from Infant Supreme School say, they are their rivals, sworn rivals. And in fact, they wanted to beat them at all costs. That did not happen. They were in the lead even in the 3rd round. But things changed in the 4th round. Definitely, they were going to get disappointed, so they left. But Asin State College, which will be that school which will be in the finals today, has also been putting up some shocking performances here. In fact, we are told that they came with 2nd-year students. Usually, you have schools coming with 3rd-year students. That was the strategy. Yeah, that was a strategy in 2020. In fact, in 2020, they came with 2nd-year students. They managed to get to the national level, and they did well and got to the 1/8 stage of the competition. It seems history is repeating itself here. We've seen them, deny some schools the opportunity to get to the national level, and they seem to be doing that very, very, very well. So Asin State College is another school to watch out for in this particular contest, which will happen at 12 o'clock. But at this other college contest, at this other college had 42 points, and the Naman SHS had 26 points. Holy Child School had 24 points. Agri Memorial Zion SHS had 20 points. You wouldn't want to describe it as a walk in the park for Adesada College, although it was 42 points and second school 26 points. It was really a contest, but you could tell that the guys from Adesada College actually prepared really well for the contest, and that was evident, even on the stage. So today, we can wait. Infant Supreme School, Asin State College, Adesada College would all be, slugging it out, and then university practice is in that contest as well. Many are predicting that it's going to be a contest between Infant Supreme School and then Adesada College. But mind you, university practice, they've put up some kind of spirited performance.
Exactly.
Here, university practice, Asin State College, you cannot rule them out of the competition.
Exactly. And so whatever happens today, there'll be a new regional champion in the Central region, because you don't have Wesley Girls and you don't have St. Augustine's College in there. Maxwell Agbagba, thank you very, very much for joining us. Kojo Youngson is signaling me that he's had enough, so thank you very much, Maxwell Agbagba. And see you after the contest. Yes, Kojo, so that's the National Science and Maths Quiz, Central Regional competition.
Enemies are not God.
Oh, no, but you see, you know that... my father used to be a teacher at St. Augustine's College.
I know this.
You know that all my brothers went to St. Augustine's College.
I know this too.
So it's not as if I don't like you. In fact, myself, I mean, I stayed on St. Augustine's College campus.
So it's not. Where from this?
My brothers have been making noise too much in the house. Particularly my younger brother. He makes too much noise in the house. So.
It's very difficult to make noise on a day like that.
Yeah, so I mean, when it happens like this, I take advantage and tease him a little bit.
In fact, I must protect my mental health by staying well clear of this discussion.
You know, in those days they say, oh, careful, means that kind of patting on the back, and he says, oh, don't cry.
Oh, goodness. Let's bring everybody in on this conversation. Okay, who do you think is going to win today? Some 4 very, very high-performing schools are lined up for the final. Adisado College and Fansipim University Practice, and of course Asin.
State College, yeah.
Asin State College. I've got to say, my money is on University Practice. I'm hoping they pull an upset. But who do you think is going to win?
Well, I also would want them to, pull an upset. But I think that it could just be in Fansipim's day.
Well, let's find out. Call us 030-221-1691 or 1692. We'd love to have your voice on this one. And you're probably right. I mean, a school that is capable of beating St. Augustine's, it's likely to be the one that wins. I mean, honestly.
Is that where it's going?
I'm sorry, but if you beat Ogasco, then you've got something. Unless it was a fluke,
no, it wasn't a fluke. The guys really came prepared.
Then the other schools can beat them.
This time around, Fansipim wants to come back again and perform wonders, on the national front. So let's see what happens within Fansipim.
Patrick is in Cape Coast. Patrick, good morning.
Action
No.
I don't know. We are out, no problem. But I'm throwing my weight behind Adisado College.
Adisco. Yeah.
I am not surprised. I am not surprised that Gasco is throwing its weight behind Adisco.
Thank you for calling, Patrick. Let the man talk. James is in Dome Pillar 2. James, good morning. Hello, James.
Hello, James.
We've lost James.
We've lost James.
But you know the numbers. You can call us right there on your screen, okay? 0302-211-691 or 692. All right. Who do you think is going to carry the day in the Central region today? It's all happening on UCC campus. And Michael is also in Cape Coast. Michael, good morning. Do we have Michael?
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Michael. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
So who is winning?
I will go from Fansipim. Fansipim is going to win today.
In Fansipim? Okay.
Yeah, they will win today.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if that
happens. But Edupoku is in Kumasi. Edupoku, good morning. Hello, Edupoku. Okay, I think we've lost Edupoku.
Yeah. Okay, Bernard is in Teshi. Good morning, Bernard.
Good morning.
Yes, boss. Who's winning?
Yes, Shekano.
That's it. Yeah.
I will tell them
Okay. All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Nee is in Mankisim. Hi, Nee. Good morning. Hello, Nee. Do we have Nee? Yeah. Nee, good morning.
Good morning. Please, I'm voting for UP Unique Practice. I mean, it's a home match. I mean, so that is good. So I'm trying to win.
Absolutely.
With any big deal,
That's right. Host and win.
Host and win, yeah. More like a host and win. It wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't be bad if they get to win.
Yeah.
You know, we used to see them walk in and out of campus those days. So it'd be nice to see our own university practice senior high school win. My friend Nketia is coordinator of the science and maths quiz. So I'll go and celebrate with him.
Fingers crossed then. Yeah. All right, Gilbert, good morning. Hi, Gilbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's winning? Who's winning?
Oh, I'm throwing my wins to these people, the fighting girls. I don't like Saint Augustine because of
Because of what?
Because of my friend there.
You have a friend there?
Yeah. Not because of my friend in that school, but because of my friend Kojiransi.
Oh, because of me.
Oh, you are.
You don't like Augustine because of me?
Yeah, it says because if you
because of moi?
If you win, you disturb him. So he wants Infanspin to win.
Oh, well, we wish them the best of luck. Let's see who comes out on top. Thank you for calling us, Gilbert. Ferguson is in Tema. Hi, Ferguson. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Who's winning?
Adisco,
eh? Did you go to Adisco?
No.
Okay. You're just rooting for them because they be hard guys.
Yes.
That's all. Thank you so much for calling us, Ferguson. All right. Well, you can call us too. Tell us who you think is going to win. We've got University Practice SHS pulling an upset in their contest yesterday. We've also got Asin State College with second-year students performing creditably. And then Mfantipim and Adesado College winning their respective contests to make it into this regional final. It's going to be quite dramatic, but who do you think is taking it home?
Fred has joined us from Kumasi. Fred, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Fred. Tell us who's winning.
Oh, UP is going to win. UP is going to win.
Okay.
UP. Yeah, this is host and win.
Host and win. Now, did you attend? Now, did you attend University Practice Secondary School?
Yes.
I can understand. I can understand. So you are rooting for your school. Thank you very much, Fred. By close of today, we'll know who becomes the winner. It certainly will not be St. Augustine's College. They're not taking part in the final. But John has joined us. John, good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Yes, John. If you could kindly speak up for us, we'll be very grateful. Tell us who you think is winning.
Thank you very much. I think State will carry the day.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, I believe we can decongest the big time schools.
You want to decongest them?
Almost every student wants to go to the schools.
Okay.
But the smaller schools are doing very well, and I know they will do that.
So you believe that when if Asin State College wins, it will lead to a decongestion in the big schools because people would appreciate that there are good schools elsewhere. Okay. Okay.
I like
that point. He makes a great point to that.
All right. Richmond is in Tamale. Hi, Richmond. Good morning.
Good morning.
Who's taking it today?
Yeah, I'm very surprised. I don't remember the last time something beat at this school in the science and math quiz competition. It's been long. We've been beating them in the final. The only time we won, we beat them in the final, convincingly. Beating them in the semis. The Fantasy is nowhere near this school when it comes to science, the new model of science and math.
Right.
So I think that even the other schools are more threatening than Infantipim. So I think this is a straight win for Adisco. Adisco has been the most consistent school from the central region in the current format of the science and math quiz. So when Adisco is meeting a new school, we are the favorite. We don't lose to schools like that. Only in the finals we lose some of the contests, but in prelims, in quarterfinals, semi, Adisco will never lose. So this is a straight win for Adisco.
Okay. Well, there's some analysis with it.
Yes,
right?
analysis with it. I mean, they've been in the finals for very consistently.
That's very true.
Yeah, that's true. Fifi Fossen is our final caller in Cape Coast. Good morning, Fifi.
Good morning. How are you?
Fifi, God is taking care of us. How about you? Who's winning it today?
My bet is on Asin State College.
Asin State College. Are you an old student of Asin State College?
No, but from where they are coming from and where they are now, I'm betting on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
got
very
a solid
much.
team.
Yeah, they have a solid team. And
yeah.
I mean, come to think of it, like we say all the time, if Asin State College wins, it will be a nice story.
It will.
It will. I mean, it actually, and I agree with John from BA when he said it would lead to decongestion of the Class A schools. So people will then realize that you have very good schools in other parts of the country.
Indeed.
And it could lead to, people wanting to go to Asin State College. So not a bad one.
It's also exciting to see that they've got year 2 students on their team, and that's just, it shows a certain spark of brilliance.
Exactly.
There's something in that school that we need to pay attention to, and I hope they're able to exhibit it beautifully today. We wish them all.
We wish them all the best.
All schools. We wish them the very, very best of luck. Right. Well,
so it's some 3 minutes to 9 a.m. and what that means is that our time is up. We need to be getting away from here. It's been nice coming to you. With the AM show this morning here on the JoyNews channel.
Indeed. I'm trying to remember
yes.
It's been such a pleasure. And by the way, we're back tomorrow, okay? We're bringing you tomorrow's edition of the AM show as well. So make a date with us. We'll lay it all out right here.
Most definitely.
Channel. All right. Until then, though, have a wonderful holiday. We wish you a very happy Eid and a good time with your friends and family. God bless.